Ahoy there crew, this is your captain speaking, and today I'm taking the mysterious black cat, the goofy orange cat, the stubborn Calico Cat, and the affectionate Tabby Cat, and turning them into characters. For this video, I'll be taking inspiration from the stereotypical personalities of different colored cats, but without further ado, let's set sail. Of course, we're starting with the black cat, since that is my cat's color. I believe the most common stereotype is that they're bad luck, but I won't be incorporating that this time. Black cats are said to be affectionate and loyal, but also smart and calm. In my experience, they tend to be very distrusting of humans or just a little shy. This aligns very well with a character that might come off cold or intimidating even. So I thought, why not make this character goth? I didn't just dress her up in very dark colors though, since that wouldn't make for a very good character design. I opted for using darker and more grey colors rather than maybe going for a black with dark accent colors. Her main color is for sure green though. Actually, now that I think about it, she kind of reminds me of Gwen from Total Drama, but that's besides the point. Her main color is green because black cats tend to have green or yellow eyes. Apparently yellow is more common, but I always just see ones with green eyes, even online. Even my cat's eyes are green. For our character, I just made the green very saturated, not the natural pale green you'd see. It really makes her eyes pop, but I also feel like it ties her into the association that cats have with witches. Black cats especially. The green gives her a magically mysterious vibe, similar to what purple usually does. Green just makes the vibe a bit more dangerous. With witches in mind, she ended up with an outfit that's a little less accessorized than I would have liked. I feel like it works well for something like a medieval bog witch though. I did give her some sick makeup. I always forget that makeup is an option when designing characters, so it was nice to work on a character like this. Her makeup still isn't very complicated, but I think I did really well with this. It's nice and simple. Since these characters are supposed to be based on cats, I decided to turn them all into Neko Mimis. I opted for making her look more fluffy. It felt like the right choice when I decided to give her a messy, teased hair look. In the end, she ended up looking more wolf-like than cat-like. Though her looking more wolf-like is kind of perfect since it reinforces the danger element she's supposed to have. To emphasize the jagged look that's created by her hair and fur, I gave her dress loads of triangle trimming. It adds some more sharpness to the design, but also makes it look a lot more detailed. She turned out gorgeous. I think I'll name her Nora. I just think it's a cute name. But up next we have a very different kind of character. It's the orange cat. They are said to be very playful and social, but also very fittingly goofy. People often joke that they only have one brain cell. I believe these characteristics are also generally associated with male cats, which makes sense since most orange cats tend to be male. This is due to them only needing one copy of the orange fur gene, while female cats need two. Because of this, I of course had to design a male character. As a nod to his goofiness, I just had to turn him into a jester. I have a soft spot for the jester hats. Unfortunately, a jester hat does hide his ears, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. At least I still added in his tail, even if I forgot it at first. I only added it in at the end. His rounded cat mouth brings a bit more of that cat theming in since he's missing the ears. Being a jester, it would only be fitting for him to have many different colors in his design. I stuck to a more square color palette, which I don't usually use. So I ended up with orange, green, blue, and purple. The orange, of course, had to be there, considering that he is supposed to be an orange cat. He almost ended up with an eye-searing palette, but luckily I decided to play around with the colors a bit more. It might still be a little ugly, though. I'm not used to this kind of color palette. But having this many colors in his design really reinforces his energeticness and the jester theme. Other than the odd color palette, I added quite a few patterns to make his design look more busy. It was also to help push that jester motif, of course. I added in some stripes and a diamond pattern. There's a half and half theme in his outfit too, with both colors and patterns switching up sides. Again, I had the chance to draw some fun makeup. Of course, clown makeup was the way to go. I used the blue and purple colors I ended up with for this. It's not too complicated, but I feel like it still adds a lot. It turned out pretty cool. I think I did a really good job considering the color palette and the gesture theme. It's just a little outside my comfort zone. And just for being something new, I think I'll name him Neo. At least this next cat is going to be much easier to draw. It's the Calico Cat. Contrasting with the Orange Cat, Calicos tend to be female, even though they do have that tiny bit of orange in them. This is actually my favorite coat color. I find Calicos so pretty. If I ever get the chance, I'd love to welcome one home. Now, Calicos are said to be independent and loving when they actually like you, but people also seem to see them as sassy and stubborn, so I set out to designing a character with a more dark academia look. Having her be an argumentative, academic-looking character seemed fitting. For her clothes, I just gave her a simple skirt and turtleneck. I even tried my hand at drawing yet another pattern. It's simple, but it was quite the mission to shape it so that it looked like it was actually curving with the skirt. In many cultures, calico cats are considered lucky, so much so that they apparently inspired the iconic Maneki Neko. I didn't actually know this before doing research, but that's actually kind of cute. I didn't really incorporate this concept into the design, but I just thought it was a nice little tidbit. Maybe we can interpret it to mean that people always say that she's their lucky charm. To incorporate the other colors that calicos have, I gave her some fun hair with a bunch of different colors. Thinking about it now, the color palette for the braids doesn't make much sense. It made sense when I was picking the different colors, since I was purely going off a vibe, but just don't think too hard about it. Alongside the calico's colors being very nice, they also have some fun patterns. This was the perfect opportunity to design a character with vitiligo to mimic that sort of pattern that they have. When looking up references for calicos, I noted that a lot of them have green eyes. To differentiate her eye color from Nora's, I gave her a much paler green. It's more realistic, but blends in well with the other colors in her palette. It would have been nice to have green be more of a main color in the design, but it didn't work that well. It just felt like it was competing with the other colors too much. The only other place that ended up with a bit of green was her laces and the bows in her hair. She looks very cute and curly, but also like she'd throw a punch if she needed to. I think I'll name this calico cat Callie, just because I think it's fun. The last cat also has a nice fun pattern. It's the Tabby Cat. I know it's not technically a coat color, but a pattern. I see them everywhere though, so I figured why not add them into the video. I mostly see those with a brownish gray or just gray base and black stripes, so that's what I'll be running with for this character. Tabbies are said to be active little daredevils. The few I've gotten to know have been very friendly and affectionate right off the bat, specifically towards humans. They're pretty brave and not at all that skittish. These few have been quite aggressive towards other cats though, to the point of attacking them unprompted and from very far away. He'll definitely be one of those people that enjoys the company of animals and nature more than he does with other cats. Since I've already designed 2 feminine characters, I figured I might as well make another male character to even the playing field. I'm sure we all know by now, but I usually just end up drawing cute ladies, so it's probably a good idea to switch it up. This character ended up with a much simpler and plainer design than the others. For it, I focused on trying to show his adventurous nature. He has a sort of adventurous getup. He's wearing a cloak, long boots, and a nice thick scarf. Imagine he's just about ready for most situations. I kept his color scheme pretty somber with mostly browns, greys, and a dark desaturated green. I wanted to keep it looking a little more natural. It honestly might help him blend into different environments better. It's very fitting for him. From the start, I wanted to make him be the hunter of this group. One of the tabby cats I know is very big on hunting and just eating in general. I don't really buy into any of these stereotypes I mentioned, but I can see how it can be fun and interesting to attribute certain personality traits to certain colored or patterned cats. Even I realize I associate certain characteristics with certain cats. I especially noticed that with the Tabby. He may be the last of this video's group, but I think he ended up nice. His vibe is very dark and different from the others. I quite like him. Let's name him Marco. And here we are at the end of another video. I'd love to know which is your favorite kitty. Is it the black cat, Nora, the orange cat, Neo, the Calico Cat, Callie, or the Tabby Cat, Marco? Let me know down in the comments. My favorite has to be Nora. I adore her color palette. But that's all for today, crew. Be sure to like and subscribe so that I can see you again for our next voyage. Bye bye!